In this video, we're just going to be talking about how you became successful. What advice you can give to someone who is at home right now, working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., trying to do the side hustles, trying to do everything in their power to get out of having to work a job that they hate and living paycheck to paycheck. Well, like, what can someone who's in that scenario do? They're living paycheck to paycheck, they're working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they're barely getting by.
For somebody who's in that condition, they have already made a major step that they probably don't realize that they've already made, and that they know they're doing what they don't like. People will work in the same job for 40 years, or the equivalent job for 40 years, and never realize that they're drones, when they didn't have to be drones. And no scorning of people who want to work a steady job, but if you have already realized this isn't for you, you've already made a major change that you probably didn't realize you had made by being able to say, I don't like this, there's got to be something better. Even if you don't have a clue what that something better is. How do you become successful? We talk about making you a millionaire. We're going to make you successful. Because that's the first step. The first step is being successful in life. The second step is being successful in business. Then comes being a millionaire or a billionaire. If you have decided, and really decided, that no, I don't want to sit here in my 9-to-5 job working for somebody else, I want to do something creative with my life. One of the ways to check yourself to make sure you're really serious about that is, have you been having creative ideas about what you could be doing? I don't necessarily mean accurate ideas that you could turn into a business tomorrow, but if you are not in love with things that have nothing to do with your current job, things that have a reasonable chance of giving you a return on your time, if you're not doing that, you're probably not really wanting to be doing something else. I remember talking to a person I was doing some business consulting with. He's been a really good, bad example throughout all of this stuff. And that is, he studied chemistry. That was his background. And I asked just a question about some fairly simple chemistry. I've taken chemistry courses, but not very many. And he had a degree in it. And I asked him, and he said, I have no idea, in a dismissive sort of way. And I said, do you keep up with the literature? And he said, no, I haven't touched anything in chemistry since I left college. Well, I left physics in college 50 years ago, and I still keep up in physics because I love it, not because I gained anything out of it. That's the kind of thing I mean. It doesn't have to be, some academic subject. It has to be something outside the realm that you're already working in that shows that your mind is already out there. That's one of the most important things you can do. The second thing that you can do is to learn what it takes to be the kind of person who can function without a net under your tightrope. Because it's difficult. Starting your own company or joining another startup, a small company, is in fact walking a tightrope without a net. And there's good things about it and there are bad things, and they're both the same thing. What you do matters. Everything you do in the course of a day matters as far as the success of the company is. That's the good thing. The bad thing is everything you do matters as far as the success of the company is concerned. And that's the bad thing because it's on your shoulders. Even if you're not the CEO, it's still on your shoulders in a small company because there's no excess personnel.
So how can someone get to that starting a small company or that joining a startup? I know you mentioned step one is realizing that what you're doing isn't what you want to do. And that's the biggest thing.
So what's step two?
Yes.
Step two is finding out what it takes to get an idea funded, organized, incorporated, patented if necessary, that sort of thing. In other words, what are the mechanisms that need to be gone through? Because a lot of that's no fun at all. And you have to realize you're going to be doing a lot of things that weren't terribly fun. But talk to people who have made a success out of a small business. and find out what their lives are like. And you will find almost all of them will say how much happier, fulfilled, and busy they are than before they took the step. And if you decide that that is what you want, now you've made the next step. Now you have to find something you want to do. Now, how does it affect your 9-to-5 job? At first, it doesn't. I worked full time when I was setting up my first company. And so you just work long hours. But you have to learn how to do a business plan, learn where do you want to go in terms of a product, in terms of hiring people that are going to help you with the product, in terms of getting money from other people to pay for doing the product. So study that. You don't have to do anything yet, but read articles about entrepreneurship. Read articles about how other people got started. Don't take too much time doing that. You can fall into the habit of being a Walter Mitty type and just reading about things that you found exciting and interesting without ever doing anything about them. That's not what I'm saying here. But get a feel for what the life would be like. And then the third step is go do it, however painful it may be, because you'll probably fail the first time. I was fortunate I didn't, but you will probably fail the first time. Almost everybody does. And get used to it, because you'll fail more than you ever have in your life. Because it doesn't take, you can't fail at a drudge job, but you can sure as hell fail at a job that means something. And you will. So what? Get out there and start. And you'll learn. Pay attention. Learn from your mistakes. Say, yep, I screwed that one up royally. Here's what I should have done. If you say it was his fault, her fault, their fault, you'll get nowhere. You'll never learn anything that way. But if you say, I made this mistake, maybe it was hiring the wrong person. Maybe it was not paying attention to something. Maybe it was you had the back of your neck was telling you this was a bad customer, but you didn't listen to yourself. It could be all of those things. Pay attention to what is happening to you when you start. And then you'll reach the point where you can say bye-bye to your 9-to-5 job. Now, if you have resources, you can do that sooner than if you have no resources. You may have to raise money before you can do that. So what?
And step
one is deciding that you are unhappy with what you're doing. Step 2 is finding out what it's like on the outside. That doesn't mean doing it. It means reading about it, talking to people who've got that experience, and so on. Step 3 is going out and doing it, which, by the way, you may get to step 3 through step 2. Because if you're talking to a successful entrepreneur, they're always looking for people who want to be successful entrepreneurs to work for them.
How do you find successful entrepreneurs?
There's a remarkable number of them floating around out there. One of the ways is join this community. I mean, that's a little bit self-serving, but that's true because we're assembling them for you. But in your church, in your kid's school, in your PTA, in your professional association, whatever it is, there are people who have got side hustles going that they're successful at, or that have given up the 9-to-5 job and have been successful working at them. Find out who they are. Meet them. You may meet them at the Elks Club. I have no idea where you're going to meet them. I've never been to an Elks Club meeting in my life. But there are places that people go that are successful.
So just talk to every single person.
Talk to everybody. One of the things entrepreneurs do is they talk to people. And that's one of the most important things. If you're afraid of talking to people, get over it. Take a public speaking class or two so you get used to being able to present ideas in public, because you're going to be doing that a lot. And if it makes you feel embarrassed, so what? Be embarrassed. But go ahead and do it.